Hello, this is History Literacy Ready, Unit 1, Lesson 6, Taking and Integrating Notes from Lecture. In this lesson, students will take notes on a PowerPoint lecture. They'll compare the lecture and the text that they've been reading, and they will do some vocabulary study. So what the students are going to do is take notes using a modified Cornell method, and this is explained in both the teacher's guide and in the student academic notebook. And later they're going to compare those notes that they took with the text. So what do you need to do? Well, you're going to need to model taking notes with a portion of the PowerPoint lecture. So, for instance, a couple of slides, as many as it takes for students to understand the kind of notes that you would like them to take. And then you want to have students take notes on perhaps another 1 or 2 slides and debrief with them before moving on and letting them do more independent work or group work. So depending upon students' expertise, also as they're involved in that PowerPoint lecture, you might need to stop every few slides to debrief and talk about what kind of notes students are taking and have the class discuss what's important and what is not. So the PowerPoint lecture has been revised several times. The new version, the current version, is available on the SREB Literacy Ready website. So when you get ready to do this lesson, go to that website and download the lecture. There are notes on the slides that add to the information on the slides themselves. And you should feel free to add to your own knowledge to the lecture or to add or delete slides. The only thing is there are a couple of quotes from the slides that students study later, and so you don't want to delete those slides. Those are highlighted in red on the slides as you go through so that you will know that those are the ones not to delete. So after students have taken notes on the lecture and have worked through these notes in groups or maybe with a whole class, you want to have them return to the textbook and compare information from the textbook with the lecture. So they're going to do this as a group activity. So you can catalog their comparisons and contrasts on a chart in front of the room. And this chart is actually shown on page 90. So as I said, this is an activity that can be done together. Also, as a part of this portion of the lesson, I've provided 2 contrasting sentence pairs. So one pair and then another pair. Each pair has a sentence from the lecture and a sentence from the text. Now, if students come up with their own differences, their own contrasting sentence pairs, you can use those as well. But these are if they haven't come up with any. So what do you need to know? It's important to really dig into those differences, the nuances in those differences, as a way to think about the idea that historians make different claims even with the same evidence. So it's a good opportunity to get them to think about sourcing. That is, why does this particular historian have this take on it and another historian have this take on it? What could it be about those historians that makes them have these different stances? So remember, students have taken notes on the lecture using a modified Cornell note method, and the reason this is modified is because there's room for students to actually add information from the textbook that was not covered by the lecture notes, and vice versa. So what the students are going to do is they're going to put together the 2 pieces of information into one summary note, one summary set of notes. What do you need to know? Well, because of the length of the lecture, you may have them summarize only 1 or 2 events. This will save time, and it'll still give them enough practice in taking information from one place and then synthesizing it with information in another place. So you want to help them summarize information that conflicts as well, because sometimes that the textbook and the lecture don't really agree. So when they're summarizing the information, you should help them use words like on the other hand or in contrast to contrast the two different interpretations of a particular event.